Hello, I am your unofficial Australian board game correspondent, and welcome back to Final Girl. So, today we are tackling Inkanyamba at the Sacred Groves. This is the third feature film in Season 1. Now, there are a couple of different rules that go along with the Sacred Groves and Inkanyamba combination. First of all, we have these two new action cards. So these are special action cards. This is the first feature film that has had these cards added. And essentially, these are to do with the Killer Wrath and the Divine Wrath tracks, which are important to this combination. So those cards cost 2 times. They'll go up in the corner over there. But you'll notice down here, we have the Killer Wrath and the Divine Wrath tracks. So both of them start at 2. And essentially, there will be actions that I think will probably come from tarot cards, based on what I was reading, but we're pretty much going to move up and down this track, and at some point there will be an explosion of wrath, or I believe there's exact wording for it, which is unleashing. So this is an example here. So if you are instructed to unleash either Divine Wrath or the Killer Wrath, which would be the gold or the red, you then have to do whatever the level says. You'll also notice that next to the Bloodlust track here, there is another little, I guess I don't know what to call this. It's like a little board. So as the Bloodlust goes up and down, when it gets to these spaces, also have to trigger these as well. Finally, if we take a look at the beautiful Sacred Groves, this used to be a very, I think it's a very beautiful area with a lot of historical significance. But the gods have become furious over the desecration of their sacred places by idiotic, obnoxious tourists. So, there are these 3 red spots that you can find, the burial ground, the sacred shrine, and Inkanyamba starts the holy groves. And these are sacred spaces. So sometimes, if there are victims at these sacred spaces, then the Divine Wrath will go up, as you kind of see on here. So, it will be very interesting to see how this plays out. Of course, I will be playing as Adelaide today, who is a part of this feature film set, and she's interesting because on her back, I get to choose one of the following immediate effects, which I can then carry out. So it will be interesting to see whenever this does get flipped, what benefit I would make the most use of. And also, once she's on the ultimate side, this is a pretty good bonus too, to bring that horror down, which we all know I am a massive fan of. Somewhere in the item cards as well is her special item, which I have shuffled in because I need to make this game slightly easier after the last video. Cool. That is everything. We'll go on to the first event card. So our starting event is The Gods Hate Failure. Might as well add the gods to the list of people who think I'm a failure. So, whenever I completely fail a horror roll, I have to increase the Divine Wrath track by 1. Okay, this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. I guess balancing where the victims are, keeping them away from the divine spots. I don't know how often they'll move around, but there's still only 3 exit spots. 1 over here, 1 up the top, and 1 on the bottom right corner. So the spacing is interesting, but hey, let's see how this goes. Okay, so I've moved the dice tray into the area because now that there's these tracks here, the spaces are kind of off. And we will start with focusing. So we get 2 die, as we will start with 2 because we are on 4 horror. And great start. So we'll move the horror track down by 2 and we'll go up to 8. On the time track. Next, I'm going to give walking a shot. So we're hoping to kind of move out of this middle area. We've got a single success. I might get rid of these 2 cards to turn that into 2 successes. So we'll be able to move up to 2 spaces and our time will go down by 1. So we'll move over to the Sacred Shrine for 1, and then we'll come across into this bit here just to keep them together. And our time will go down to 7. Cool. So I'm probably going to just focus again here. May as well just see how this starts. That will be good enough. So we'll go down by 1 on the horror track, down to 2, and then we'll go to 6 time. Finally, I will walk. So grab these two, hoping to get someone off the board. That, unfortunately, is a failure. I've got no cards in my hand to discard. So not only will I lose 2 time, I won't lose the health right now. Although I could. No, so I'll lose the 2 time, putting me down to 4 time. But if we have a look at the starting event that we have here, the Gods Hate Failure, because I completely failed a horror roll, I am going to increase this Divine Wrath track by 1. Perfect. So I had 4 time to spend, so I've grabbed a search and a sprint to see how that will go. So taking a look now at the killer action. So if the killer Wrath track is at 1 or 2, we have to increase it by 1, and then he will attack either a final girl or a victim the closest space to him. So this will go up by 1. And if we look at the board now over on his side, there is no one there, so no one will get attacked. Time to reveal the first terror card. He's coming and there's nothing we can do. So there are victims on the board, so we can ignore that. We will go up 1 on the horror track. And of course, now he is going to move towards the nearest victim and he will attack. So he will just move 1 over here and then he will kill his first victim, unfortunately. So that one is dead. And we'll move the Bloodlust track up by 1, meaning that now we have to activate this. So we have to increase the Divine Wrath by the number of all victims at these holy spaces. So luckily I moved someone off of the Sacred Shrine, but there is still one up here in the burial ground. So this will now go up to 4. Ooh. So as there is no people in this spot, or no victims to panic, we'll go back to our turn. We only have a search and a sprint. So we'll start by sprinting. Hopefully being able to move up to 3 spaces is what we're going to try and do. Move that into here. All right, so we're rolling 2 die because we're on horror level 3. That is 1 success, which will just be enough to move 2 spots. So we'll go 1 and then 2 and let those people escape. Cool, so I've put our time down by 1 to 5, but now we're going to fill 2 of these spots, and I'm going to reduce our horror by 1, as well as move 1 space. Cool, so I'm going to move to the Welcome Center thanks to this upgrade up here, and I'll play the last card to search. So let's have a look at what we can find at the Welcome Center. That is another failure. So unfortunately, Divine Wrath track will go up by 1, and if you have a look at the search, I can still take the top item card at my space, but gain 2 horror, which will put us back to 5, or I'm just getting 1 horror and losing 2 time. So the card that I would be able to grab from the Welcome Center will let me add these out of order signs onto adjacent spots, which could stop all of these victims from going into the sacred grounds. But I think for now, I will just leave it, and I will lose 2 time, and we'll go up to 3 on the horror track. So with the 3 time to spend, I've grabbed an Atonement, which will help us maybe reduce this Divine Wrath track, which has gone up here, and a reroll, as well as all of the 0 cost action cards on the first turn. So looking now over here for the Sacred Groves and Inkanyamba's action. So again, he would increase his Killer Wrath if it was at 1 or 2, but it is not. And he would just swing in his spot. No one is there. So now we will reveal the Terror card, which says, Punishment of the Gods. Oh. So I have to unleash the Divine Wrath twice, and then he will take 1 step towards the nearest victim, kill them, and then we will draw an event card. Okay, so we are on level 4, meaning that we are going to just lose 8 time in total. So I will look at, I guess our next turn will be skipped, unfortunately. Yeah, that's tough. Next, he will go over into this spot and he will kill another victim. So that one will die. The Bloodlust track will go up by 1 as well. And then we will reveal a new event card. Loud and obnoxious. These tourists are so annoying that I might just kill them myself. Crazy. Okay, so now whenever the Divine Wrath track increases by 1, it will increase by an additional 1. So anytime I guess that I will be rolling anything and missing, it's going to be even worse for me. Cool. So as I had no time on my turn, I was in the red, I would just skip my turn, meaning I have no currency to buy anything, and we're just going to go back into another killer action. So once again, the Killer Wrath track is not at the 1 or 2, so nothing will happen, but we will reveal a new terror card. Ooh, the Wrath of Death. So we will unleash on the Killer Wrath, then we will increase it equal to our current health, and then it will move towards the nearest victim. Okay, so if you look at the track here, it's just we're going to gain 1 horror, we'll go up to 4. Now our health is at 6, so this will now go all the way up to 9. And I don't know if you can see that, but that is extremely scary. I don't want to have to deal with that. And now he will take 1 movement towards the nearest victims, and his moves for 3. So he'll go into here, and then he will just kill another one. Wow, okay. So another one dies, meaning we move up on this Bloodlust track again, revealing a Dark Power. And of course, we have an epic Dark Power, as if this game wasn't going well for us already. So whenever he kills a victim, he will kill a second victim in the same space or an adjacent space with his superpowered lightning. And not only that, but once again, we will have to unleash the Divine Wrath, which means we go down by 4 times. So we're only going to have 2 times on our turn. Insane. That is incredible. So the last thing we will do is we will panic the victim in this space up here where the groundskeeper's shed is. So I will roll for that. Let's see. So we rolled a 1. Now the only way out would have been from a 3 to 6. So he kind of just runs around aimlessly and ends up staying in that spot. Okay. That is a big turn for Inkanyamba. Cool. So because he's up in that corner and we don't have any search cards, I think we're going to just have to take a more chill turn this time. So let's go for a focus first. We're rolling 2 because we are at horror level 4. But keep in mind, we do only have 2 time. And that is not ideal. So we're going to get rid of a weak attack and a short rest to just reduce the focus by, reduce the horror by 1. And now we only have 1 time left. So I'm going to play another focus, and I'm really hoping that we can gain some time from this, because currently we are not going to have enough currency to really do much. Okay, so we've gotten 1 star. I am going to use a close call to try and reroll this 1 into, well, I guess it went up, but unfortunately, we've lost another time, meaning that now we're not going to be able to search again. So I might just play the Atonement. So we're going to try and reduce any of these Wrath tracks at all. So I'm going to grab our 2. We'll see what happens. Well, that's not great. So because we have failed the roll, we would actually, we're going to have to gain a horror and drop down by 2 time. Unless I want to discard, I could discard these 2 cards, which would then get us to a 1, because otherwise, if we fail this roll, the Divine Wrath track will go up by 2 as well. Things are just not looking great for us, but I think I'm going to need to keep the walks. So I will take the L on this. Horror move up to 3. We'll lose the time. And now the Divine Wrath track will go up to 7. Deary me. Cool. So I had no cards that I could pick up, meaning that I'm pretty much going to have another turn that I won't get to do anything. So that's horrible planning from me. But now we'll do the killer action. So he's going to kill this guy here, meaning the Bloodlust track will go up once again. Over here, we will then increase the Divine track by the number of all victims at the holy spaces. So the Burial Ground, again, means that this will go up by 1. But because of this loud and obnoxious event that we have in place still, it will actually go up by a second one, meaning that is at 9. This is not going well. Cool. So we'll reveal the next one. Ooh, no one will notice if I break off one of these pretty branches. So we will now increase the divine track by 1 because of the burial ground, but they will actually go up by 2. But anyway, 10 is at the top. We will now unleash it. If you want to look at what that says, we have to discard all action cards except atonement cards and decrease the divine wrath track by the number of cards discarded. Well, I have 0 cards in my hand, so that nothing will happen there. Now, we will place 2 new victims at the Holy Groves, and then all victims adjacent to the Holy Groves will move there. Luckily, there's no one adjacent to it, but there will be 2 new people down here in the Holy Groves. It's fair enough. We'll now go to my turn, where I have no cards in my hand to play, so I will go to the buying phase now, but I do have 6 time to spend. Cool, so with that 6 time, I've picked up all the 0 cost cards, and also 2 atonements and a search. So we really want to try and look through for some weapons of some kind, because the longer this game goes on, the more I fear that we might start losing our life. Cool, so we'll go to his action now. No one's in his space, there's nothing to do there. We will grab a terror card and reveal the Wrath of Opportunity. So we have to unleash on the killer track. Then we'll go up equal to the number of action cards in my hand, and then it will target the nearest victim as well for an attack. So if you look at the track right now, it's already at the top. So we are going to reveal this. So he would heal, but 2. His max health is 9, so it won't go up by anything. The horror will go up by 1 onto 4, and then he will now target the nearest victim or final girl. He is moving 3 spots, and then he will attack. So first of all, 1, 2, 1, 2. I think this will be worse for us. So we'll go 1, 2 here. He will kill 1, meaning the bloodlust goes up again. The killer wrath track will now go up to 10, which is the maximum. And then he will target another victim and then end their lives as well. So second one in that space will go, putting it up once more onto that track here. And now we have to unleash on the Divine Wrath track, meaning that over here, we're discarding all of our action cards except for the atonement ones. So we'll keep the 2 atonement ones here, and we'll discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 of these cards will get discarded. But the plus side, this will now drop down to 3. So we have a little bit of breathing room. Not much though. Cool. So it now goes back to us, and all that we really have are these atonement cards. So we may as well just play them. So I will play the first one. Actually, no, before I do that, I've realized I forgot about the Dark Lightning power. So essentially, when I just killed that first victim from here, I should have also killed a second victim, meaning that he would then be able to move from this one now as we attacked because of where we were on the Killer Wrath track down here. So instead of being in this spot, we're going to be over here, and we'll kill that one too. The Bloodlust will go up by another 1, and we have to increase the Divine Wrath track now by a total of 3, just so it can go up to 6. Yeah. It seems that every game, I mean, as most solo games go, I feel like you're always just going to miss out on some rules, but I am getting better at catching them in live action as opposed to the first one where it was in post. Anyway, so we'll play an atonement. We are really hoping to get anything really that's going to be helpful. My hopes aren't high. Okay, I will take that success so I can decrease one of these 2 tracks on the side here by half, rounded by 1. We will go down to 5 on the killer track because that is way too much. I will then play the other one as well. It's a bit of a risk. Oh, yeah. I knew it was a bit of a risk because even if I had cards to discard, nothing would have helped. So unfortunately, not only because of this failure, not only will we gain a horror and lose 2 time, we're up to 5 and going down to 4, but we will go up 2 spots on the Divine Wrath track, because the gods hate failure and also loud and obnoxious. This is going so well. Anyway, so I have 4 time to spend. I am just going to grab a sprint and I will grab a search as well. And now we'll go over to the killer's turn. Cool. So with the 4 time I had left, I picked up a search and a sprint. Now we'll go over to the killer's action. So the killer will not be attacking in your spot, but he will be revealing a terror card, which is, I don't know how, but I've angered him. So he'll target us and he will attack twice, and we will increase the killer wrath track for the amount of damage that is inflicted. Cool. So go 1, 2, and essentially I've got no defensive cards to play, so we are going to take 4 hits, putting us onto 2 health. Great. That is not great at all. I mean, because now this has to go up by 4 as well, pushing us up to 9. No one will panic. At least now we get to take our turn. So I'm actually going to search while he's staring at me right in the face and he's waving around his whatever he's got, these knives. May as well. Great. Awesome. So that's a failure, meaning that Divine Wrath track will go up to 10 now. And I guess I'm losing 2 time. I'm gaining a horror. Do I even bother trying to run away? I don't even know where I'd go. I will run away because I don't really want to deal with that. So I'll play the sprint. I'm hoping I can just get 3 spots away. Well, whatever I've done, it seems that I've really annoyed all the gods here in the Sacred Groves. So that is so great. I have failed the sprint, meaning that I will lose a heart. I'm going to do this one because I may as well get 1 space away to prevent getting hit all those times. So I'm now down to 1 heart. I'll go down to 3 time. I'll move 1 space away. I'll come down here for 1. Crazy. All right, so I have 3 time to spend. So I'm going to pick up all those zeros and a guard and probably a reroll. Cool. So I did grab the guard and the close call as well as all these free ones. Now, I did manage to move out of his spot, so I'm not going to take a damage straight away, but I assume the terror card will cause him to move into us. Oh, it won't cause him to move into us, but it will be even worse. So, Boiling Anger. During each upkeep, we have to make a horror roll. If it's a star, no effect. Otherwise, we will increase that killer track by 1. Because he needed more health. He needed more shields. He needed something to go in his favor, didn't he? Well, it is now the upkeep phase. So I'm going to just roll it on here. It's a star, so nothing will happen. Okay. All right, so now it's my turn. I may as well just try and heal. So I'm going to go for a short rest. Just try and get some health back to try and survive a little bit longer. That will be 1 health and we'll lose a time. So we'll go back up to 2 hearts. I think I was supposed to roll an extra die there as well, which I will throw in now just because I was on 1 health. Cool. So we'll grab another one and we will regain that 1 time. Sick. So next we are going to start playing our classic focuses just to try and bring that horror away from 5 and getting it closer to where we will be able to do something there. Cool. So I'm on 8 currently. Let's look at the cards in my hand. I think it might be game over. So maybe I should just try and see if I can go out swinging, hey? So let's try and walk into his spot. We're annoyed that he's done all these things to us. That's not ideal, but sure. I'm going to move a space, lose a heart. Cool. So I'll move into there. I will lose 1 heart, meaning I'm down on 1. I'll lose 2 time, pushing me onto 6. But now I get to roll an extra die for whatever we have coming up next, which will be, this very scary weak attack. Now, if I was smart, maybe I would have done something else, but if we could just get 1 hit off, that would be ideal. That is not ideal. So I'm going to play this close call. I'm going to go down to 4 time, and we'll give it 1 more shot. Great. It seems no one wanted us to... The gods are really protecting him here. So I will discard these 2 just to get 1 hit off, just so I can feel like I've done something. But I will lose my last heart, meaning that now we come down to this once again. I feel like I've been here before so many times. I'll flip this over, and okay, we have 1 health left. Cool. So we have regen 1. And I'm going to end my turn there with 4 time. Cool. So with that 4 time, I picked up Retaliate, which we'll have to use straight away. We'll just see what happens. So killer action, we're going to get attacked. So he's hitting for 2. We have 1 health left. I will play the Retaliate. We're going to roll 3 die, 2 because we're on horror level 5, 1 because we're on 1 heart. And let's see if we can just do anything. Okay, so we will reduce the attack completely, and Boiling Anger will now go away. But I'm sure we will reveal this Terror card, and we'll see. Yeah, that's it. So Wrath of Blood. So we will unleash the level we are at, level 9. So he will heal for 2. He will gain a horror. Then he will attack us. We're in his spot. He will hit us for 2. I only have 1 heart left, and that will be the end of Adelaide. That's it. Yeah. This one has, I think it's got a bit of notoriety for being one of the harder feature films, but we got our ass handed to us. I'm sorry, Adelaide, I've let you down. That's it. I have been your unofficial Australian board game correspondent, and Inkanyamba has ruined our day.